Hello guys, my name is Jenny Chavarria and today I'm going to be sharing the experience of the case study of Juan Felipe Alves. His second language acquisition process has been a little bit difficult for many reasons, which I'm going to explain in the video. In order to show some evidence, I'm going to be recording my voice and then showing a couple of images that are pertinent to what I'm going to be explaining. Okay, the question that addresses the issue of why some learners are more successful than others has been explained from different points of view, theories and even personal experiences. I will focus this report on analyzing some of the students' errors, but also how the teacher's instructions and the adaptations that the teacher does in class can help a student at least gaining some knowledge in the L2. Okay, very briefly, Juan Felipe is a student that has been in the institution for more than 3 years. He's 31 years old, he finished high school, he doesn't work, and he loves learning English. He is now in the last course of the program. He is in course 16, which is the last course of B2. He is quadriplegic and sometimes he experiences epileptic episodes. Such situation has made some adaptations in terms of evaluation, institutional policies, and then teacher strategies in the classroom necessary. For example, he presents the final exam with another person. He has a little bit more time, and as he cannot write with his hands, what we do is that he dictates that person, and then that person writes and checks with him if that was actually what he wanted to do. And from the classroom, we ask the teacher to send him the notes after each class, allow him to present the written work and some activities the next day. I visited his class about 3 times. I talked to the teacher and collected 2 final exams, 2 listening activities, and 1 writing activity. So the example I'm showing to you is the written work. The first one was in February 7th. He was in course 16 again because he failed that course. And then the second one is from March 7th. Actually, that was yesterday. March 7th, that final exam would be the 4th time that he presents the exam. So, guys, as you can see in the image, if you briefly read the first text, and if you read the second one, you can see that his ideas are a little bit more elaborate. What did he have to do? He needed to write an argumentative text of about 20 lines where he states his position about domestic work, pros, cons, or just general information. But stating his position, he could use some information from the text that is included in the exam, and then from the listening section as well, so that he could enrich his ideas. As I said at the beginning, notice that the second text is a little bit more elaborate. But first of all, in terms of lines, right? He has exactly the same time every time he presents the exam. But then the first one, he wrote 6 lines, right? He produced, because he didn't write them. He produced 6 lines. In the second one, it's 8. But notice a couple of details that I think are important to analyze here. For example, he says explicitly in the second text a couple of sentences that show me that he's trying to express his opinion. His accuracy, of course, you can see that it's not that good, but take a look at this. He states his opinion by saying, I read in many magazines, referencing some other pieces of information. And then these people suffer each day. He's actually trying to set his position, his opinion about domestic work. If you scan the text, you can see that all of those, it still lacks coherence. Some ideas are more elaborated. Now I want to reference other pieces of information that I found during the process. Every time that Juan Felipe wrote something for the class, the teacher gave him the chance to correct, but not just, okay, these are your mistakes, go ahead and correct it. No, the teacher, what he did was, okay, Juan Felipe, you're not expressing your idea try to include more of these expressions, like what I really want you to tell me in this text is this, because sometimes the text was totally different to what the teacher asked him to do. So the teacher gave him chances. I could see that actually he was trying. When he was pointed out those specific aspects, he would attempt to use them. If you compare both texts, you can see that some of these aspects, some of the words that he uses look kind of fossilized. So for example, the word employant, the word poverty, the word majory. The teacher has corrected these words a couple of times, and in the feedback and during a class conversation, he still uses these words. So maybe it's fossilization, apart from the individual differences that I already mentioned, and the physical conditions that he has. Maybe there are some language features that he already has fossilized, and maybe that also intervenes in how not coherent his speech is. Okay. There, in general, lack of coherence and accuracy in terms of language is evident. Something very particular is that sometimes he writes the expressions right, but some others he just doesn't. Like, for example, domestic workers from the first writing, and then work domestic, like, the order of adjectives, for example. He does it right sometimes, he doesn't do it right some other times. The possessive your, like your economy, your job, when he's referring to their job, their economy, or their information. Like, he still confuses your and their, and that's a mistake that is very common in lower levels. Okay, now talking about the conclusions, to wrap up this presentation. I would say that the first conclusion I can reach is that Juan Felipe has cognitive capacities that have been evident in his L2 development, right? Maybe this learning doesn't happen as fast as the policies expect, but he has definitely shown improvement. Little by little, it's not that he is a B2 right now, but the fact that he was able to write a more elaborate text, the fact that he doesn't use Spanish in the classroom as he used to do before, like let's say 1 year ago, for simple sentences inside or outside the classroom to interact with other people. His willingness to participate, because he raises his hand, he tries to set his opinion, although most of the times inaccurately, at least he's showing some improvement. Another general conclusion from this experience is that the environment, the interaction, makes a big difference in the opportunities the student has to practice, generate, and test a hypothesis. Some group activities that I could see, that's the time when he actually doesn't feel pressed to produce something. So he elaborates more his discourse, still with lots of difficulties, but at least he is able to express his idea. Another conclusion that I could learn from this experience, or something that I could learn from this experience, is that learning strategies, direct such as memory, or indirect such as affective, metacognitive, and social, these strategies matter in second language acquisition, but they are affected by the environment as well. Felipe may have the institutional adaptations and the teacher's strategies, and this can help him acquire the knowledge in a more effective way. But again, and this is the point that I have always made, we cannot expect that the pace of this is the same, right? We cannot expect Juan Felipe, because of his physical conditions, to show the same level of the rest of the students at the same time. He's on the process, he's on his path of achieving that. Felipe doesn't have the performances of a B2 student. However, does he have the competence? Maybe he does. Maybe he's still acquiring. Maybe the competence doesn't match the performance because of any cognitive issue that I'm not aware of. I would dare to say that yes, he has some level of competence, but definitely his competence is higher that than what he can verbalize. But definitely his competence is higher